Now we're going to go to Peter Nicholas in Washington, D.C., who will tell us a little bit more about those recent fundraising numbers from President Barack Obama and Mitt Romney. Peter, thanks for joining us.
Nice to be with you, Sarah.
So what can you tell us about the latest fundraising numbers we have coming out of the two camps?
Well, it looks like we had a very good month for Mitt Romney. Romney outraised the president $106 million to $71 million in the month of June. This is the second consecutive month that Mitt Romney and the Republican Party have outraised Obama and the Democratic Party. So they're now sort of competing head-to-head, where Romney is the presumptive nominee. And Romney is showing that Obama is very unlikely to have the significant cash advantage that he had in 2008 when he competed against John McCain.
And this is a pretty substantial gap that we saw in the latest fundraising numbers, and a big break from 2008. Like you said, I mean, the president just enjoyed a massive financial advantage.
That's right. In 2008, the president raised about $750 million. It was twice as much as what John McCain raised. And going into the 2012 campaign, there was every expectation the president was going to break those records and have an even larger edge and maybe raise $1 billion. What Mitt Romney is proving, and you know this, Sarah, because you covered the Romney campaign, is that he is pretty formidable fundraiser and can go toe-to-toe with the president. So this is worrisome to the Obama campaign for a couple of different reasons. One is that the Obama campaign is not going to have the advantage of a lot of outside spending from super PACs and pro-Obama groups. Obama has to spend money not just on his ground game, not just on opening up offices in different swing states, but he also has to air the TV ads that super PACs are airing for Mitt Romney. So the president is, in that sense, fighting something of a two-front war. Romney has the advantage of not only a solid campaign war chest in his own right, but also outside super PAC spending to help him.
Right, and one of the interesting points I think you made in your story was that President Obama has still managed to tap a pretty wide array of small dollar donors, people who give $250 or less, and then you can kind of go back to those people over and over again until November. But talk to me a little bit about his relationship with these high dollar donors. It seems to be a bit more fraught than it was in 2008.
Well, I think that's right. The president has taken positions with respect to financial regulation, signing the Dodd-Frank bill, that has upset some high donors, high net worth individuals in the Wall Street community. The president has also used rhetoric about private equity, about Romney's business dealings that have been upsetting to people working in the financial sector. So all this has created something of a complicated relationship between the president and high net worth individuals, and that has taken a toll on his fundraising. But you can't overlook the fact that there's been some diminution of excitement for the president. That in 2008, he was the hot insurgent who was coming on, captured and piqued the public's imagination. Some of that's missing this time around. The president has conceded that he's having to slog it out. So in that perspective, his fundraising is suffering too.
You know, the thing that's been funny to me watching this all play out, and also, like you said, covering the Romney campaign, is that everyone wants to win the fundraising, race for the month. Everyone wants to win the fundraising race in general. But as soon as someone pulls ahead, they immediately start to paint themselves as the underdog. And I think we saw that, with the Romney campaign. They reported these gangbusters numbers, and then they immediately put out a memo that said, but wait, Obama's spending so much more on television advertising, and we're getting outplayed here and there.
I think it's an important point. One thing that struck me, and I'm sure you've seen this too in your coverage, is that if there's good news for the campaign, they can fundraise off that. And if there's bad news for the campaign, they can fundraise off it. It's just in any scenario, good or bad, they're able to sort of raise money and appeal to donors. And that's what's happening here. So the Obama campaign, immediately after announcing that they raised $71 million, which is not a small chunk of change, but still only 2/3 of what Romney raised, put out a fundraising pitch and said, guess what? We got trounced, and we need a $5 contribution from you right now, and here's the web link.
$71 million is trounced now. Who would have thought?
Yeah, who would have thought? There was a time when $71 million was real money, in a given month.
Yeah, so it seems like, there's no chance that we're going to see the listserv fundraising emails let up anytime soon. If you're on one of these Obama or Romney lists, you're still going to get hammered. And they do sound kind of increasingly concerned coming from the Obama campaign, but you're also talking to people who work in the campaign, officials in the administration. What What's your sense of how concerned they are by this gap that we're seeing? Do they think that's something that'll persist?
Well, what they're concerned about mostly is not what the candidates are raising, not what Mitt Romney is raising, but what the outside super PACs are raising. So they're concerned about the conservative, anti-Obama groups that are raising hundreds of millions of dollars. And we've reported that the Obama super PAC is just not going to be able to match that. So this gives the Romney campaign a tremendous advantage. As I was saying earlier, they don't have to necessarily pay for every TV ad, every anti-Obama TV ad that goes up in the air. They can count on these super PACs and outside groups to do that. So they can put their money where they want. They can spend it on the ground game. They can spend it to build up staff, to open up offices in swing states. That's a tremendous luxury and advantage.
Right.
The Obama campaign doesn't have that. I mean, what they have to do is they have to maintain their own ground game, open up these offices, pay for salaries and staff, and air these TV ads. So the Obama campaign officials we talked to are quite concerned about that.
Yeah.